to another episode of Brooklyn's World. I'm about to go on a new endeavour where I need to get my neuromodulators that I have implanted in my body for my interstitial cystitis. I basically need them put back into my body because they stick out and it really hurts when they do that. And anything that I can do to make me as pain-free as possible is my big mission at the moment. So this is going to be quite a huge operation with a long recovery time, but the end result should be totally worth it, and I should be completely out of pain once I am all healed and everything's all done. So basically at the moment I have my implant that is just here with the scar in there. So this one isn't the side that sticks out the most, but this is the side that I can fully grab. So if you can see me grabbing that, that is the whole implant that I can move around and do that. Now that I shouldn't be able to do. And the only reason that all of this has happened is because I've lost around 27 kilos with the development of SMAS. And because that made me lose so much weight, basically all the padding that I used to have on my bottom that used to protect my implants, that's basically gone. So they don't have anything protecting them anymore. Getting all ready for this next rock and roll adventure. Wish me luck. So today was the day that I was going to get my neuromodulators for my interstitial cystitis fixed, basically, because the wires in them were trying to come out through my skin and that caused me a lot of pain, and I really didn't like it, and I've put up with it for quite a while. So today I was to get the neuromodulators, basically the scars opened on both sides of my butt cheeks, and then the neuromodulators taken out, the hole that they stick in my flesh deepened a bit, and then the neuromodulators shoved back down into the deeper holes, which then would have basically a butt implant put on top of it, and then some silicone like you put in your lips put on top of that as extra protection, and then sew me all up. So it was to be a very, very big operation. As I was getting ready and was just sitting in what they called the holding room, my surgeon came in to see me, and he said that he'd like to try, if I was with him on this, like to try a kind of unconventional treatment for me, which possibly would save me needing to have my scars opened. So my little ears pricked up when I heard that, because if I could avoid getting cut opened and then having to deal with all of the stitches and the recovery time and all of that kind of stuff, then I was all for it. And I didn't mind that it was a bit unconventional, because basically my whole body is unconventional. So maybe unconventional treatments would work a bit better than the normal treatment. So I told him that that's fine, he can try this new treatment, even though it's not really on the list of what they do with interstitial cystitis or neuromodulators. But he said that what he will do is he has got permission of some special silicone, and basically he just wants to not open me up and inject silicone as much as he can all the way around the neuromodulators, well, the bits that he can get to anyway. And then hopefully that will just create enough padding and that will do the job, and that will be the end of it. But if he has trouble doing that, or he can see that it's just not going to work, then it would go back to the original operation of fully opening me up. So I did agree to this. I said that was fine. And basically it was just going to be a surprise for me when I woke up after the operation to find out exactly what the outcome was. While I was in the holding unit, a lady from the neuromodulator company actually came to see me, which I wasn't expecting, but it was very nice. And she wanted to see what was going on, and she had a bit of a look at what had happened to my neuromodulators, and she's like, yeah, that's not right. They usually only need to be implanted maximum about 2 centimeters, but maybe 5 centimeters at the most. But obviously with me, they need to be implanted a lot deeper than that. So she was on board for them to go fiddling with their product. And she also wanted to try to see what the battery life I have left on my neuromodulators, because I've had them in for 4 and a bit years now. But of course, me being me, and anything that has to be with me, is usually a bit difficult and uncooperative. So when she was putting this little machine pad over my neuromodulators to see how much battery life they had left, they would not connect. Either side would not connect for her. So after about 10 minutes of trying this, she just totally gave up, and she said that she will try to do it while we're in the operating theatre and hopefully have a bit more luck with that. And when she said that she'll be in the operating theatre, I actually forgot that this company that I have my neuromodulators from, whenever there is an operation with one of their products, they send one of their representatives there just to make sure that everything is done right. So it's actually quite comforting to know that the people that make these neuromodulators really do care about the products and really want to make sure that everything is done correctly so the patients can get the best outcome from them. I also had a visit from what I have to say is one of the nicest anesthesiologists I have ever come across, and all of that was just because he listened to me and he helped me through everything that I go through when it comes to needles. The first thing that he did was put this cream on my skin that numbed the skin so I wouldn't feel the needles going in. So just him doing that, I appreciated so much. And then we also spoke about everything that I usually go through with needles and anesthetic. And he came up with a plan that he would do everything very slowly and let me know what was going on. Hopefully the needle wouldn't hurt me going in with this cream being applied. And then he said that he would give me something basically to make me feel like I was a bit drunk. So it would kind of ease my anxiety a bit. So that was all fine. That was a good plan. And then I said to him that every time I get the white stuff, that's what I call it, the white stuff, which I think is the stuff that actually puts you to sleep, it really hurts and it really stings. And I asked him if there was something that he could do about that. So he said that he was going to put some anesthetic in amongst the mix of that and also water it down a little bit and sort of put it through a drip so it ran through a bit more calmly. And I was very happy with that. But what happened was, after he did get the needle into me without too much trouble, I had a little kicking fit at one stage, but you know, we got there in the end. And then he gave me the you'll feel a little bit drunk stuff. I don't really remember a lot of what happened next. I remember getting wheeled into the operating room and I remember them telling me to get onto the bed, but I have no idea the exact instructions that they were giving me. And then I vaguely remember him saying that he was going to give me the anesthetic, and then I don't remember anything after that. After that, I just woke up in recovery. Recovery was very rough. I woke up, sort of, but I was still so sleepy and so sort of drugged out. I couldn't do anything. I was just lying there like, what on earth is going on? And I just could not seem to get myself awake. And that's what happened when I had my last procedure with my splenic nerve block. It took me so long to wake up, and then once I was sort of awake, I really just couldn't do anything for, it just seemed like a very long time. And I'm beginning to think that anesthetic is having a much harder impact on my body than it ever has before. It's like as I'm getting older, I just can't tolerate the anesthetic like I used to anymore. So I'm not sure if that's a concern or not, or if it's just something that I need to mention whenever I have more surgeries, but at least I sort of know that that is happening, so I'll at least be able to prepare myself a little bit better for that. When I had woken up a little bit more in recovery and was able to speak, I asked the two nurses what had happened, because I couldn't tell if I had been cut open or not, because everything was all sort of numb in the area of my bottom that I was sitting on. I had no idea what was going on. So they told me that I hadn't been cut open, which was good, but they weren't quite sure exactly what had been done. After my surgeon left, and because I was a little bit more with it by that stage, the only thing that I could think of was, how can I get out of here and how quickly can I do it? Hello, I am the Stealth Ninja, and I managed to escape from the hospital. Unfortunately for me, it did take a little longer than I had planned to escape, because my plan was to wake up from the anaesthetic and then run away. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case, because for the first 2 hours, I was so knocked out from the anaesthetic, I pretty much didn't have a clue what was going on, and I certainly was not able to film anything. So I had to stay there in La La Land just for a while longer. So 2 hours after that, and after being stuck in this horrible hard chair, they did decide, with some slight nagging from me, that I was allowed to go. But then, as I was just about to go, we discovered that my bladder had decided to go into retention. So I wasn't allowed to go until I peed. Oh, I was not happy. Couldn't believe that my bladder had done this to me, considering I was having basically bladder surgery. But it does happen sometimes when I have anaesthetic. So I knew that I just had to wait, play with my neuromodulators and see if I could get them to get things going. And then 2 hours after that, I finally did my business, which I was very happy about. As soon as I was out of that toilet, I was out the door, Stealth Ninja style, running, well, not really running because I can't even really walk properly, but going as fast as I possibly could out that door and into freedom. I didn't really come good or feel like I had recovered properly from the anaesthetic until about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I had the anaesthetic at around 7 this morning. So that's a good 10 hours that I was kind of spaced out and wasn't feeling the best at all. But once it hit that 10 hours, then I was starting to feel a bit like my normal self. And when I was feeling a bit better, I thought that I would go and investigate and see what damage has been done to me and to see why I'm so sore. And once I had a look at what had been done, I totally understood why I was so sore. I've counted 20 needle punctures over and around the scars, which are on top of my neuromodulators. So that is the reason why I am so sore, because I have all of those needle marks in me. And I would presume that the needle would have been pretty big to be able to get the silicone through the little eye of the needle and through my skin. And into my flesh and wherever else it was aimed to go. And throughout the day, my legs are also becoming increasingly sore. So I'm not quite sure why that is. It could be just because I've been, well, when I have been walking around, which is a little bit of a struggle, I think that I'm walking a bit sort of weird and wonky. So maybe that's just putting some pressure on my muscles in my legs, or they may have done something to my legs during the surgery that I'm just not aware of at the moment. But I'm sure in time all of that pain will pass and I will get through this, as I always do, and hopefully this turns out to be a success and I don't need to be opened up in 6 months' time. So I've just got my fingers crossed, and I think just for now I should go and take off these monitors, little sticker things that I still have on me, because I got out of the hospital so fast they didn't even have a chance to remove much of what they had attached to me. Thank you for listening to my story. I will do another update in a few days when I know a little bit more about what's going on and how I'm feeling and how I'm coping with all of this. But I will see you again in the near future. Bye.